Alright, hello. I'm doing an oil change on my 1994 Honda Shadow VT1100. Just in case somebody's, probably a million videos out there, but I really haven't seen any. For the oil change, need a drain pan, filter wrench, some way to fill the oil back in. So I got a funnel, some rags, gloves. Need a 17mm socket. I can't remember which one fits into mine, whether it's a big one or smaller one. And a filter and oil that you're going to put in the bike. So let me get this set up where we can see. First thing is your oil bolt is let's see if I can see where we're at. My screen just turned off. So our oil bolt right there. So let me get that on there while we record. First thing, drain pan under there. You just come from the outside. The bike leans at an angle. Oil is known for synergy in California, but not anywhere else apparently. Edit this out later on. I'm not sure how well I'm good at editing photos yet, or videos. Alright, need an extension. I've not done an oil change on this in about 6 months, or about 2,500 miles. That's almost exactly 2,500 miles. So it's been a while since I did it. That's 4 types of oil, brands of oil. Ideally, Honda specs for my bike. Honda oil, 10W40, I believe. I got that in the service manual. But basically, they make motorcycle-specific oils. Valvoline, Mobil, Castrol, they all make it. So loosen it, unscrew, and you let it drain. This is why you have rags, because oil makes a mess everywhere. As for which oil to use, it's up to you. There's tons of opinions online. I, for one, am using a diesel engine oil. Some Peak semi-synthetic 15W40 I got on clearance from Advance Auto for like, I think it was $1.85 for that big 5-gallon or 4-quart jug. So I figure that's a good deal. And so far, it seems to do good. Ships well. Alright, one thing to get the oil out a little quicker is to loosen your drain or your fill plug. You're going to do that first. No big deal. I'll show you where that's at if you can't figure it out. Let this sit here and drain for a minute. All that oil is drained out. Put the plug back in. And then we will move on to the filter. So if you want an opinion on oil, there's a website called bobistheoilguy.com. Tons of oil information on there. I unfortunately have read more about engine oil than I probably should, but like I said, that's the conclusion I came to. And I am okay with using this oil. Others may not be. Your choice. If you want to spend oh, $5 a quart, $6 a quart, $7 a quart for Honda oil or whatever brand you're using. That's fine. I just choose a more economical route. I don't call it cheap because some people take cheap to mean bad quality, but this is not. I always look for clearance, sales, stuff like that. Comes out ahead in the long run. So, get my plug back on. Oh, and there is a pressure washer on that filter, or on the drain plug. I did not change it. I took a quick look at it. It's in good shape. You're supposed to change it every oil change. I don't. Again, this is oil change according to me, not service manuals. I take service manuals and use them as my guideline. Get that in there, and we'll tighten that back up. And again, there is a torque spec for this. I actually have the official service manual sitting about 5 feet away from me, but I don't really care. I know it's bad to say and wrong to say, but it is what it is. I'll look it up, post it up if people are really curious as to what it is. But I'm one of the good and tight clubs. I've been doing oil changes for a long time, so I am okay with that style. Now the oil filter, which is just back behind where we're at. Let me move my camera. Probably on the other side's a little easier to do. Okay, this oil filter wrench is right there. I got a strap wrench type. Hopefully I can get it off by hand, but maybe not. So that is your oil fill that you should loosen up before you start draining your oil, so all the oil comes out. Now some people will say drain your oil for 15 minutes till it's all run out and no drips at all. And again, I am not of that school. Let me get this so you can actually see down there. Not just there we go. There's the filter. And this light is actually not blinding us. Get this from the back of the bike. And again, same with oil. You have different choices on filters. Some people hate Frams. They think Fram's the devil and it's going to ruin your vehicle. Well, again, it's their opinion. Usually not based on fact. If you want to watch, I'm going to cut this filter open later on and post what it looks like inside. This is actually the Tough Guard 3593A. It's actually a filter designed for Honda cars, but it also happens to fit motorcycles. So, how convenient. It's actually a little oversized compared to the specified actual Fram motorcycle filter. I want to say it's a 6017. I don't remember offhand, but it's a tiny little filter. I've got one I cut up. But the Fram, it's got a silicone anti-drain back valve, which is really good for a motorcycle, and it's a quality filter. You can have your own opinion of it. Yes, that's some hard drive magnets on the back side of it. Those are something that I always do. Now, this is why you always check your filter. Well, the second time I've ever had this happen. The filter O-ring stuck on the mounting. So always make sure you check for that O-ring. Otherwise, if you put another filter on there without taking that off, you are going to double gasket. It is going to leak. And on a motorcycle, that is not a good thing because it's right there on your back tire. So, put that on there. Go grab my new filter. I'm hoping that camera's still on there. If not, I'm sorry. You get the gist of it though. For the new filter, I've got a Pure Leather synthetic VT1100C. It's actually a filter they don't make anymore. It's now replaced by the Pure Leader Boss. I actually had a user on the Bob is the oil valve form send it to me actually. I believe it was Duck Riders. If not, I'm sorry, I'll credit whoever it is appropriately. And you're not seeing me do is putting a thin coat of fresh oil on the new filter. This helps with filter removal later on. Some people pre-fill filters, some people don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. With it being sideways on this one, I'm not particularly interested in it because it leaks out. But I don't know if this is going to focus on the box or not. Wow, that's bright. That's the filter box, the filter I'm using. Is that back in the right place? Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, sorry. There we go. Alright, let's take the new filter. Get the old one over out of the way a little bit. Again, make sure you've cleaned off your mounting gasket. It does not need to be spotless, but it needs to be as clean. It needs to be clean. New filter going on. Now, yeah, never mind. I've got some opinion that I'm not going to talk about. Go on there. There we go. And again, this is not the spec filter from Pure Leader. I don't even know what Pure Leader specs anymore. I don't usually use Pure Leader filters. Again, this one was given to me. So, alright, so contact. And then you tighten it. Usually about 3/4 of a turn from the time it touches. Never use a wrench to tighten it. Alright. That's about 3/4 of a turn. So that's tight. My drain plug is tight. So make sure you got all those taken care of. I got even a little oil leak over here. I need to look at that. So both of those are tight. We're good. Time to fill. So the Shadow 1100, I've seen numbers varying between 3.3 and 4.2 quarts of oil. I don't remember the exact number. Again, I've got a factory service manual. I could look that up. But, you know, when you get lazy and old, you don't do it like you should. Anyway, so it's supposed to be 3.3 quarts to 4 quarts. I've measured mine. It's actually, mine is with the little bit bigger filter there, although it is about the same size as the actual stock filter. It is about 3.5 to 3.7 quarts. I actually have already filled, or my bottle over there actually has the correct amount. And I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to pour that in there because I know that's the correct amount. How do I know? The last 2 oil changes I've done, I've measured and measured twice. And this last time I took the bottle and made a mark on it. So I know it's good. You can see on the bottle, there's a little mark right there at that line. That's how much oil I need in my motorcycle to get me to the full mark. So, my funnel, gotta get my little, I always put a couple rags in there to keep it clean. Now I can't get it out. Screwdriver to push it out with. Of course, you never can't find a screwdriver when you need one. There we go. Alright, again, for your bike, you need to measure how much oil you need to put in to get you to a full level. With me, I know. Now I'm still going to check my oil level when I'm all said and done, so I know where my oil goes. So once you know where it's at, you're good. Yes, about as exciting as watching paint dry. So I've had this bike for end of August, 1st of September of last year. Was that 7 months, 8 months? We're in March. Changed the oil right when I bought it. Changed it about 500 miles later. And this is the oil I just drained out was from then. It's been almost 7 months. And like exactly within 2,510, something like that. Probably a short interval. Probably could go longer. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gallons of oil that cost me like $15. So oil change over 2,500 miles. Not that big a deal. I might extend it out to 3,000, maybe even 5,000. There's a saying I've heard that you let your left foot decide when it's time to change your oil. Which basically means that those that motorcycles tend to start getting notchy shifting when oil starts to wear. So a lot of people just go by that, or maybe a certain time frame. But so far for me, 2,500 miles is definitely easily doable. I may start extending it out a little bit longer. The longer I have the bike. Not sure exactly how long it'll be, but I figure I'll do this another 2,500 miles. That's good. I might start extending it out longer. This was due through winter. I put about, for a ride to work, it's a very short ride, about 3 miles. 2 work, 3 miles back. Oil does not have a really good chance of getting heated up real well, so I figure a little bit shorter change is better. Now, check the oil on these bikes so you know if you're full or not. Every bike's different. This is one you definitely need to read your manual because you don't want to do it wrong. On these Shadows, check your oil. You will start the bike, let it run for a moment, get the oil circulated around, and then you turn the bike off, pull the dipstick out, wipe the dipstick, put it back in but do not screw it in, and then you check your level from that. So, a different way of doing it, every bike's different. Alright, start it up. Alright, so again, for this bike, needs to be checked upright. I don't know who decided to make a black dipstick, because it is not easy to see the oil on this thing. I always make sure I get it nice and dry. Again, while it's sitting here for a second, it's kind of draining back down a little bit. About 30 seconds. Put it back in. Again, do not screw it in for this bike. Take it back out. I'm actually about a hash off. So, yeah, some idiot don't listen to me for talking about how to add your oil. See, that's why you check it, because it could be different for whatever reason. I'm going to need another about 1/4 of a quart. Like I said, I've got plenty of oil, so that's not a problem for me to do. Oh, there we go. I think I'm full now, so I'm going to leave it be. I'll check it again in 100 miles or so, see where it's at. we are good. So that is how I change my oil on my motorcycle. This is, again, the 1994 VT1100C. If you don't have this bike, this is not necessarily going to be the way you do it. Check your motor's oil or Google on a YouTube video for your specific motorcycle. That's how I do mine. Any questions, comments, concerns? Let me know. I don't really care what you think, but you know, hey. Like I said, I'm going to post up a dissection of that filter in a couple days. I'm going to let it drain out. And the usual, dispose of your oil properly. AutoZone, Advanced Auto, I think Walmart, all the auto parts stores will take your oil. I've got a big old oil container right there I dump it into. And yeah, see? That's my oil. I've got a bunch of oil there. Dispose of it properly. Don't dump it in the drain. It's bad for you. Thank you.